Namaste and welcome to my channel. Today I am here with new video of model questions and answers which are asked in TSC examination of English in lower secondary and secondary level. Let's start from question number 1. Question number 1 is briefly explain why teaching punctuation is essential to develop students' writing skill. Explain any 2 effective strategies that can be applied to teach punctuation in grade 10 English. This question was asked in TSC 2018, especially for secondary level. Okay, possible answer can be like this. Importance of teaching punctuation for developing writing skills. Teaching punctuation is fundamentally essential for developing students' writing skills as it provides the necessary roadmap for readers to understand the writer's intended meaning. Without proper punctuation, written text can become ambiguous, confusing, and difficult to comprehend. Punctuation marks act as visual cues that guide the reader through the text, indicating pauses, emphasis, sentence structure, and relationships between ideas. Mastering punctuation allows students to express their thoughts and ideas with clarity, precision, and impact, ultimately leading to more effective and sophisticated writing. Why punctuation is essential? Okay, let's say in details, in points. The first point is ensures clarity to meaning. Punctuation helps to segment text into meaningful units, sentences, clauses, and clarifies the relationships between them. For example, a comma can distinguish between let's eat grandma and let's eat grandma, drastically altering the intended meaning. Point 2. Enhance readability and flow. Correct punctuation creates a natural rhythm and flow in writing, making it easier and more enjoyable for the reader. To allow the writer's train of thought, the proper use of commas, semicolons, and dashes helps to connect ideas smoothly and prevent run-on sentences and abrupt breaks. The third point is indicates different sentence structures and functions. Punctuation marks like question marks, exclamation points, and periods signals the type and purpose of sentence, whether it is an inquiry, an expression of strong emotion, or a declarative statement. Next point is avoids ambiguity and misinterpretation. Incorrect or missing punctuation can lead to multiple interpretations of the same sentence, hindering effective communications. For instance, a woman without her man is nothing can be misinterpreted without the appropriate comma placement. Its emphasis and tone. Punctuation marks like quotation marks, italics, and exclamation points can be used to emphasize certain words or phrases and convey the writer's intended tone or attitude. 2 effective strategies for teaching punctuation in grade 10 English. The first strategies can be sentence transformation and reconstruction activities. This strategy involves providing students with unpunctuated sentences or sentences punctuated incorrectly and asking them to rewrite them correctly to convey a specific meaning or to change the sentence structure. Explanation. This activity encourages students to actively think about how different punctuation marks affect the meaning and structure of sentences. By manipulating punctuation, they gain a deeper understanding of its role in written communication. Let's see example. Original punctuated sentences. The students went home, it was raining heavily. Task. Rewrite the sentence using appropriate punctuation to show that the heavy rain was the reason the students went home early. Possible correct answers. The students went home because it was raining heavily. Or it was raining heavily, so the students went home, or the students went home, it was raining heavily. The next strategy is text analysis and error correction. This strategy involves providing students with authentic text, as for example newspaper articles, excerpts from stories that contain deliberate punctuation errors or lack certain punctuation marks. Students are tasked with identifying and correcting these errors and explaining their reasoning. Explanation. This approach exposes students to real-world examples of written English and helps them develop a keen eye of spotting punctuation mistakes. It also encourages them to apply the rules of punctuation in practical contexts. As for example, the excerpt with errors, the cat sat on the fence, it was the birds flying overhead. Suddenly it jumped, catching on mid-air. What a surprise! Facts. Identify the correct punctuation errors in the given excerpt. Possible correct excerpt. The cat sat on the fence, full stop. It was the birds flying overhead, full stop. Suddenly, comma, it jumped, catching on mid-air, exclamation mark, what a surprise. Again, exclamation marks and inverted comma, close. Main points to remember: sentence transformation and reconstruction activities, text analysis and error correction. In conclusion, teaching punctuation effectively in grade 10 is crucial for empowering students to become confident and competent writers. By understanding the fundamental role of punctuation in conveying meaning and employing engaging strategies like sentence transformation and text analysis, teachers can help students master this essential aspect of written English, leading to improved clarity, coherence, and overall quality in their writing. Let's move to question number 2. Explain any 2 key principles of teaching vocabulary with examples. As an English language teacher, how do you teach receptive and productive vocabulary to secondary level students? This question was asked in TSC examination 2079 for secondary level teaching vocabulary. Effective vocabulary instruction is crucial for language learning, as vocabulary knowledge underpins all 4 language skills. There are 2 key principles that should guide vocabulary teaching. Teaching vocabulary in context. Learning words in isolation through rote memorization is often ineffective. Presenting new vocabulary within meaningful context, such as sentences, paragraphs, or real-life situations, helps students understand their nuance, usage, collocations. Context provides clues that aid comprehension and retention. Examples: instead of just defining the word elated as very happy, an English teacher could present it in a sentence like, when Nepali won the cricket match, the whole nation felt elated. The context of winning and national pride helps students grasp the intensity and positive emotion associated with the word elated. Similarly, while teaching the word subtle, a teacher might use the example, there was a subtle change in her expression that hinted at her disappointment, showing that subtle refers to a small, not easily noticed difference. Active engagement and multiple exposure. Vocabulary acquisition is a gradual process that requires active involvement from learners and repeated encounters with new words. Passive exposure, like simply reading a list, is less likely to lead to long-term retention. Engaging students through various activities that require them to use the new vocabulary in different ways and providing multiple opportunities to see, hear, and use the word are vital. As for example, after introducing the words diligent, perseverance, and obstacles. A teacher can engage students in an activity where they discuss the character of a famous Nepali figure like Pasang Lamu Sherpa, highlighting how her diligence and perseverance helped her to overcome obstacles to climb Mount Everest. This active use of the words in a meaningful discussion, followed by perhaps a writing task where they describe another inspiring figure using these words, reinforces their learning, teaching receptive and productive vocabulary to secondary level students. As an English language teacher, I would approach the teaching of receptive and productive vocabulary to secondary level students through a variety of strategies tailored to their specific needs and learning styles. Teaching receptive vocabulary, understanding words when reading or listening. Extensive reading. Encourage students to read widely from various genres, stories, articles, newspaper, etc. This naturally exposes them to a wide range of vocabulary in context, guide them to gauge the meaning of unfamiliar words from the surroundings text before resorting to dictionaries. Contextual clues. Explicitly teach students how to identify and utilize different types of contextual clues, as for example, synonyms, antonyms, definitions, examples, general context, to infer the meaning of unknown words encountered in reading and listening materials. Provide practice exercises focusing on this skill. Listening activities. Use audio and video materials like new clips, songs, and dialogues to expose students to new vocabulary in an auditory context. Conduct listening comprehension tasks that require them to understand the meaning of specific words and phrases. Vocabulary notebooks, logs. Encourage students to keep a vocabulary notebook where they record new words encountered during reading or listening, along with their guessed meaning from the context and later confirm definitions. Teaching productive vocabulary using words when speaking or writing. Vocabulary games and activities. Incorporate fun and engaging games like word puzzles, crosswords, word association games, and vocabulary quizzes to help students actively use new words in low-pressure environment. Sentence and paragraphs writing. Provide opportunities for students to use newly learned vocabulary in their own writing. Assign tasks that require them to write sentences, paragraphs, or short essays using the target words in meaningful contexts. Provide feedback on their appropriate use of vocabulary. Speaking activities and discussions. Encourage class discussion and peer group speaking activities where students are promoted to use the new vocabulary. Role-playing scenarios, debates, and presentations can provide authentic opportunities for vocabulary production. Word walls and visual aids. Create word walls in classroom displaying newly learned vocabulary with their meanings and example sentences. Use visual aids like pictures and flashcards to reinforce the connection between words and their meanings, making them more readily available for productive use. Collaborative activities. Engage students in collaborative tasks like creating stories and dialogue using a set of target vocabulary words. This encourages them to negotiate meaning and actively use the words in communication with their peers. Main points to remember. Teach vocabulary in meaningful contexts. Actively engage students with new words through various activities. For receptive vocabulary, focus on extensive reading, contextual clues, and listening. For productive vocabulary, emphasize writing, speaking, games, and visual aids. In conclusion, effective vocabulary teaching at the secondary level in Nepal requires a balanced approach that focuses on both understanding receptive vocabulary and using productive vocabulary new words by adhering to key principles like teaching in context and promoting active engagement, and by employing a variety of target strategies. English language teacher can empower students to expand their vocabulary knowledge and become more proficient and confident communicators in English. Let's move to question number 3. What is phonology? Prepare an inventory of the consonant sounds of English language and classify them in terms of voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. This question was asked in 2018 for lower secondary level. Okay, let's see model answer. First, let's start from the definition of phonology. Phonology is the branch of linguistics that studies the sound system of language. It focuses on how sounds are organized and used to convey meaning. Unlike phonetics, which is concerned with the physical production and perception of speech sounds, phonology explores the abstract mental representations that govern their combination and variation within the particular language. It examines which sounds are distinctive phonemes and how they function in linguistic system. Okay, now let's see inventory of English consonant sounds and their classification. English has a rich set of consonant sounds, or its inventory of the sounds classified according to their voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. The first sound is according to IPA, P, voiceless, and the basis of voicing, and the place of articulation it is bilabial, and the manner of articulation it is plosive, as for example, when, B, voiced, bilabial, plosive, as for example in ball, T, voiceless, alveolar, plosive, as in top, D, voiced, alveolar, plosive, as in dog, K, voiceless, speller, plosive, as in cat, G, voiced, speller, explosive, as in go, Ch, voiceless, post-alveolar, affricate, as in church, J, voiced, post-alveolar, affricate, as in judge, F, voiceless, labiodental, fricative, as in fan, F, voiced, labiodental, fricative, as in fan, Th, voiceless, dental, fricative, as in thin, The, voiced, dental, fricative, as in this, Sh, voiceless, alveolar, fricative, as in shon, J, voiced, alveolar, fricative, as in Jew, Sh, voiceless, post-alveolar, fricative, as in sheep, J, voiced, post-alveolar, fricative, as in vision, A, voiceless, glottal, fricative, as in add, M, voiced, bilabial, nasal, as in man, N, voiced, alveolar, nasal, as in nose, Ng, voiced, velar, nasal, as in shing, L, voiced, alveolar, approximant or lateral, as in lip, R, voiced, post-alveolar, approximant, as in red, W, voiced, labiovelar, approximant, as in weight, Y, voiced, palatal, approximant, as in ears. Classification. Terms explained. Voicing refers to whether the vocal cords vibrate during the production of the sound. Consonants can be either voiced, vocal cords vibrate, or voiceless, vocal cords do not vibrate while pronouncing those sounds. Let's see on the basis of place of articulation that indicates where in the vocal tract the obstruction of airflow occurs. The places listed above include bilabial using both lips, as for example pa, ba, ma, wa, using lower lip and upper teeth, as for example fa and va. Dental using the tongue and upper teeth, as for example tha and da. Alveolar using the tongue and the alveolar ridge, the bony ridge behind the upper teeth, as for example cha, da, sa, ja and no, la. Post-alveolar using the tongue and the area just behind the alveolar ridge, as for example cha, ja, sha, ja, ra. Next is palatal using the tongue and the hard plate, the roof of the mouth, is for example ya. Velar using the back of the tongue and the soft plate velum, as for example ka, ga, nga. Occurring at the glottis, the space between vocal cords, as for example ha. Manner of articulation describes how the airflow is obstructed or modified to produce the sound. The manners listed above include plosive. The airflow is completely stopped and then suddenly released, as for example pa, ba, ta, da, ka and ga. Affricate. A plosive float immediately by a fricative sound, as for example cha, ja. Fricative. The airflow is constricted, creating friction as passes through, as for example fa, fa, tha, da, sa, ja, sha, ja, ha. Nasal. The airflow is blocked in the oral cavity and released through a nose, as for example ma, na and nga. Lateral. The airflow is blocked in the center of the mouth and flows around the side of the tongue, as for example la. Approximant or semi-well. The articulators come close together but not close enough to cause friction, as for example ra, wa, ya. Main points to remember. Phonology is the study of the sound system of language. Consonant sounds are classified by voicing, which is voiced or voiceless. Consonant sounds are classified by palates of articulation, where the sound is produced. Consonant sounds are classified by manner of articulation, how the sound is produced. English has approximately 24 consonant sounds. In conclusion, understanding phonology and being familiar with the inventory and classification of English consonant sounds is fundamental for English language teachers. This knowledge informs pronunciation, instruction and helps in analyzing and addressing learners' pronunciation challenges effectively. A systematic understanding of these articulatory features provides a solid foundation for teaching and learning spoken English. Let's move to question number 4. Highlight difference between major and minor word classes. Explain the role of the verbs and adjectives in the sentence construction with examples. Phrase. List down the major word classes in a sentence. The big brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. This question was asked in 2081 for lower secondary level. Okay, let's see model answer. Difference between major and minor word classes. Word classes, also known as the part of speech, categorize the words based on their function and form in a sentence. They are broadly divided into major open and minor closed word classes. The key differences lie in the primary rule, number, and ability to readily accept new members. Major or classes are open. These classes primarily carry the main semantic content of a sentence. They are considered open because new words can be easily added to these categories as the language evolves. Examples: nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Minor word classes closed. These classes primarily serve grammatical functions, providing structure and relationships within a sentence. They are considered closed because new words are rarely added to these categories. As for example, pronouns, determiners, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Role of verbs and adjectives in sentence construction. Verbs are the core of a sentence, indicating actions, state of being, or occurrences. They express what the subject does or is. Without a verb, a group of words cannot typically form a complete sentence. Verbs also dictate the tense of the sentence. As for example, in the sentence, the dog barks loudly, the verb barks shows the action performed by the subject dog. In she is a teacher, the verb is expresses the state of being of the subject she. Adjectives. Adjectives are descriptive words that modify nouns or pronouns. They provide more information about the qualities, characteristics, or states of noun or pronouns. They precede or follow. Adjectives enrich sentences by adding detail and imagery. As for example, in the sentence, the quick brown fox jumps, the adjective quick describes the noun fox. The dog is lazy. The adjective lazy describes the noun dog. Major word classes in the sentence, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The major word classes present in the sentence are noun, fox, dog, verb, jumps, adjective, quick, brown, and lazy. Note: while over and the are words in the sentence, they belong to minor word classes, prepositions, and determiner, respectively. As per the questions, focus on major word classes. In conclusion, understanding the distinction between major and minor word classes, recognizing the crucial role played by verbs and adjectives is fundamental to comprehending English sentence structure and developing effective writing skills. Verbs provide the action or state, while adjectives add descriptive detail, both contributing significantly to the meaning and clarity of communication. Recognizing these words clauses enables a deeper analysis and construction of grammatically sound and meaningful sentences. Let's move to question number 5. Justify that why teaching learners vocabulary in second language teaching is fairly essential. Suggest at least 2 ways, each for testing receptive and productive vocabulary knowledge. This question was asked in 2081 TSC examination for secondary level. Okay, let's see model answer. Justification for testing learners vocabulary in second language teaching. Testing learners vocabulary in second language teaching is fairly essential for several crucial reasons. Vocabulary is the foundation upon which all other language skills are built. A strong vocabulary base enables learners to comprehend what they read and listen, which are receptive skills, and to express their own thoughts and ideas effectively in speaking and writing, which are productive skills. Therefore, assessing vocabulary knowledge provides valuable insights into a learner's overall language proficiency and helps guide effective instruction. That is why vocabulary testing is essential. Measures overall language proficiency. Vocabulary size is a significant indicator of general language competence. Learners with a wider vocabulary are typically more proficient in all aspects of language. Exercise comprehension. Receptive vocabulary knowledge is critical for understanding written and spoken text. Testing vocabulary directly gauges a learner's ability to decode and interpret language. Evaluate productive skills. Productive vocabulary knowledge determines the range and precision with which learners can express themselves. Testing it reveals their capacity to use words appropriately in speaking and writing. Informs teaching and learning. Vocabulary tests provide teachers with valuable feedback on what vocabulary items learners know and what areas need further instruction. This helps tailor teaching strategies and focus on specific lexical gaps. For learners, testing highlights their strengths and weaknesses, motivating them to expand their vocabulary further. Monitor progress. Regular vocabulary testing allows teachers and learners to track progress over time, demonstrating the effectiveness of teaching methods and individual learning efforts. Ways to test receptive vocabulary knowledge. Multiple choice meaning recognition. Provide a target word and ask students to choose the correct definition from a set of options, as for example, word, ubiquitous, option, rare, common, present everywhere, important, difficult. Correct answer is common, present everywhere. Matching words to definition or synonyms. Present a list of words and corresponding list of their definitions or synonyms, asking students to match them correctly. As for example, word 1, tranquil, word 2, vibrant. Definitions: full of energy and life, calm and peaceful. Correct matching: 1B to A. Ways to test productive vocabulary knowledge. Gap filling with provide or bank. Give students sentences with missing words and a list of words to choose from to complete the sentences accurately. This states their ability to select the appropriate word in the context. As for example, the sentence is: the old house had very air and atmosphere. Spooky, happy, bright, noisy. These are the options, and the correct answer is spooky. Sentence writing using target words. Provide students with list of vocabulary words and ask them to write original sentences using each word in a meaningful and grammatically correct way. This assesses their ability to use the words appropriately in their own output. As for example, the word diligent. Student sentence: the student was very diligent in completing all her assignments on time. Main points to remember: testing vocabulary is essential for gauging overall language proficiency. It assesses both comprehension, receptive and expression productive abilities. Vocabulary tests provide valuable feedback for both teachers and learners. Receptive vocabulary can be tested through multiple choice meaning recognition and matching activities. Productive vocabulary can be tested through gap filling with a word bank and sentence writing tasks. In conclusion, testing learners' vocabulary is an indispensable component of effective second language teaching. It provides critical information about learners' language development, informs instructional decisions, and motivates learners to expand their lexical resources, ultimately contributing to their success in mastering the English language. Let's see question number 6. What are the purposes of speech teaching in second level? prepare lesson plan for teaching reported speech to the students of grade 9. This question was asked in 2079 for secondary level TSC examination. Let's see model answer. Purpose of reported speech teaching at secondary level. Reported speech, also known as indirect speech, is crucial aspects of English grammar that enables learners to recount what someone else has said. Teaching reported speech at the secondary level serves several important purposes. First point is developing communicative competence. Understanding and using reported speech allows students to narrate, pass conversation, convey information indirectly, and participate more effectively in real-world communication. Next point is improving listening and reading comprehension. Recognizing the changes that occur when speech is reported enhances students' ability to understand spoken and written narratives, news reports, and dialogues. Next point is reinforcing grammatical knowledge. Learning reported speech involves understanding and applying various grammatical rules related to tense, shifts, pronoun changes, and changes in adverbs of the time and place, thereby strengthening their overall grammatical foundation. Next point is enhancing writing skills. The ability to accurately report speech is essential for writing narratives, summaries, and other forms of written discourse. Last but not least, understanding different speech contexts. Teaching reported speech exposes students to how language changes depending on whether it is direct or indirect, fostering an answers of different communication styles. Let's see model lesson plan for teaching reported speech to grade 9. Topic reported speech statements. Now this reporting statement. Grade level 9. Time allotment approximately 45 to 50 minutes. Learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to identify direct and reported speech in sentences, change simple present tense statements from direct to repeated speech, change simple past tense statements from direct to reported speech, make necessary pronoun and adverbial changes in reported speech. The required materials: whiteboard or chart paper, markers, textbook, excerpts with direct speech, worksheets with practice exercises, procedure or classroom teaching learning activities. First, warm up activities for 5 minutes. Begin by asking students if they have ever told someone what another person said. Elicit a few examples in Nepali or English to introduce the concept informally. Second, introduction 5 minutes. Introduce the term reported speech and explain that it is used to tell someone what other person said without using their exact words. Write simple examples of direct and report speech on the board. For example, direct: he said, I am tired. Reported: he said that he was tired. Presentation for 15 minutes. Explain the basic rule of tense shift. Generally, the verb tense moves one step back in reported speech. Present simple to past simple, past simple to past perfect, and provide examples. Direct: she said, I like pizza. Reported: she said that she liked pizza. Direct: they said, we went to Pokhara last week. Reported: they said that they had gone to Pokhara the previous week. Introduce pronoun changes with examples. Direct: he said, my book is here. Reported: he said that his book was there. Direct: she said, you are my friend. Reported speech: she said that I was her friend. Explain changes in adverbs of time and place with examples. Direct: he said, I will come tomorrow. Reported: he said that he would come the next day. Direct: she said, I live here. Reported speech: she said that she lived there. Next activity, Guided practice 15 minutes. Write a few simple sentences in direct speech on the board and ask students to convert them into reported speech as a class. Guide them through each change, tense, pronoun, and verbs. Distribute a worksheet with sentences in direct speech. Ask students to work individually or in pairs to change them into reported speech. Monitor their work and provide feedback. Independent practice for 5 minutes. Ask students to look at short dialogue in their textbook and identify examples of direct speech. Then instruct them to choose 2 or 3 sentences and write their reported speech versions in their notebooks. Evaluation for 3 minutes. Quick check of few students' answers on the board or ask couple of students to share their answers aloud to gauge their understanding. Last 2 minutes for homework. Assign students to find 5 more examples of direct speech from a story or news article and write their reported speech versions for the next class. Main points to remember. Reported speech conveys what someone said indirectly. Tense usually shift one step back. Present simple, past simple, past perfect. Pronouns and adverbs of time and place often change. In conclusion, teaching reported speech empowers grade 9 students to communicate more comprehensively and accurately in English. By understanding the grammatical transformations involved, they can effectively narrate conversations and integrate reported information into their speaking and writing, enhancing their overall language proficiency. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and subscribe for more videos, and don't forget to press bell icon for more videos in future.